Hi, we're Kev and Emma. 18 months ago we started a new adventure and bought a 57-foot narrowboat called Ripple. Why not join us and watch our highs and lows, the renovations and changes we've made, the clever storage that's been created, and find out what it's really like living and working full-time aboard a narrowboat with 2 dogs while exploring the waterways of our beautiful country.
Hello. So last week we left you just a little bit further back there on a cliffhanger, just about to go down the Foxton locks. Now, we don't usually do a lot of history chats, but the Foxton locks in this area is really quite a significant place in the canal world. So we thought we'd give you a little tour and a brief history of the area. A little further up the canal before you get to the locks, the top of the locks, there is a fork in the canal. Forking canal. That just makes me chuckle. Quick funny memory, talking about forking canal. When we were travelling on the Oxford South, and we were just past Banbury, and there was a canal boat. It's the funniest name I have ever seen. The boat was called Far Canal. It made me chuckle, and yeah, it's the funniest one we've seen on all of the miles we've covered so far. What are the funniest names of boats that you've come across? Pop in the comments below, because Far Canal is by far the funniest one that I've come across. Anyway, back to my history lesson. The fork is here because back in 1900 there are actually 2 ways to descend the 75-foot hill that's beyond the locks. You could go via the traditional staircase locks, which are to the left this way, or via the Foxton boat lift, which is to the right. Going via the locks would take about 45 minutes, and it used 25,000 gallons of water. Whereas the boat lift, the journey took 12 minutes and minimal water was wasted. So much quicker, much more efficient way to get down the hill, really. Why is the boat lift still not there, I hear you ask? So this is where the Foxton boat lift operated. You can see the incline. It's quite high. It's got a gradient of 1 in 4, and then you can see the steel runners here. These are the bits that would have carried the boats down the hill, and then over here on the other side there is an identical set of tracks. And the caissons, which are big steel cases full of water that held the boats, they would have moved up and down. So one of them, either this side or the other side, would have gone down, while the other one on the other side was coming up, and vice versa. And each caisson was full of water and weighed about 230 tonnes. 230 tonnes moving down that hill, that bottom bit of water. And in the caissons they could fit 2 boats, or 1 long barge would fit into each of the caissons. And it took 12 minutes for the boats to travel either up or down the hill. Pretty amazing, huh? What a feat of engineering. So why have a boat lift? Well, the boat lift was built after the locks, but it was built to try and compete with the growing railway network. The thought behind it was that if they could increase the traffic on the canals, it would make it more viable for shipping goods around. And so one of the things that was discussed was around making the locks wider. And then actually the discussion was actually the lock's too long, it would increase the amount of water that was being used, and it just wasn't viable. And so the idea of the boat lift came about. Unfortunately, the Watford locks, which were also in amongst the discussions, were never widened and didn't have a boat lift, obviously, and so it didn't have any increase in the amount of traffic and boats that were able to use the canal. And for that reason, the lift was closed down, because it was very expensive to maintain. And so from a cost perspective, they closed it down. It opened in 1900 and it closed in 1912. So it only ran for 11 years. Would have been amazing to see it working, wouldn't it? There's lots and lots of pictures and images. If you Google it and have a little look online, there's some images of pictures of the caissons going up and down the incline. Really, really incredible bit of engineering. Just behind me here, you can see the top of what would have been the old boiler house, the original boiler house. So the boats would be pulled up. The mechanisms for pulling the boats up were housed in that boiler house, and it operated the caissons that went up and down with the boat. Nowadays, they've turned it into a museum. It's the Foxton Canal Museum, and actually it's really worth a visit. Lots and lots of information, volunteers on. It's worth a visit if you're up this way, that's for sure. And this is the bottom of the lift. So you can see the boats would have come down into this pocket of water and then back out and under the bridge that I'm standing on. So that is the top lock, and you will see all the way down. There are 5 locks in a staircase, and then there's a pound in the middle where boats can swap over. So if one's coming up, one's going down, they can pass each other. And the Foxton locks are the longest and steepest staircase of locks in the entire country. They opened in 1814, and essentially they are exactly the same as when they were built. 210 years of brilliant engineering. We hope you enjoyed the information. Now join us as we negotiate, or you can watch how we negotiated the 10 locks in the Foxton flight. You'll notice when we flip over to the footage from last week that Kev's wearing a mic, and so we've got the weird sound situation going on. The microphones we've bought, I think they're noise cancelling, but they cancel out all of the noise around. So you'll see he's in the middle of a lock and you can't hear anything apart from his voice, which just seems really, really unnatural. So I think we're going to ditch the mics. We might play around with them a bit more off camera, see if we can get them working the way we want them to. But essentially, we're just not keen with the way that this sound is being produced. So I'm not using mic at the moment. But what you're just about to watch, Kev will have a mic on, so there will be a bit of a difference in sound. Again, give us some feedback. I don't like it. I think it's a bit weird. I think you need some of the ambience around you to get a feel for what you're doing. Otherwise, I think I've watched it and it feels like he's superimposed in the lock. See what you think. But enjoy.
It's a nice sunny day. It's very much the next day after we had that horrible storm hit us for a couple of days. And what a pleasure. I suppose I should have looked. I don't know what the rise and fall is of the Foxton flight. I don't know really. If you know, drop a comment. Be interesting to know. Well, how many of you have done the Foxton flights and find them really lovely and sedate compared to others? Rate it between Watford and Foxton, which ones you prefer doing. I think my favourites are, so far, Foxton flight. Watford are quite ferocious. You enjoying yourself? Yeah, she's enjoying herself. Nice. Em's happy, all the gates are light. Lovely. It's all going well. At some point, I don't know if it's after this one, there's a pound where they can swap the boats from coming up and down. But I'm not sure whether it's this one or the next one. I need to be careful going out, not assuming I'm going straight into another lock when I might not be. We're filming and we're being filmed. We're being filmed by some Don Goozlers as we're going down. It's always lovely to see people paying an interest to the canals. What they do, what they are, why they're here. It's always quite nice. Then we're over there, look, having a chat with the Lockie. And just over there, fat finger allowing, Canal Museum's in there. Really nice little area if you just want a day out and you might not live on a boat and you've never been here. It's worth coming. There's lots of nice walks, the museum, the locks themselves, cafes, a couple of pubs. Can't remember which one it is. There's really nice food in it last year when we drove up here. That was a very strange sound. It sounded like somebody had pulled a plug out. Anyway, like when you pull a plug out in a bath, it sounded like that. It was a little bit unnerving, but we are absolutely flying down this lock. I know the bow camera will pick it up, but I thought I'd show you from my perspective what I see as I come out of the lock. Narrow locks are exactly that, narrow. You've probably got maybe an inch, 2 inches each side, inch and a half. Not very much at all. Just take it nice and steady and slow and everything's fine. See, I'm just coming out of the lock now for me, and here right on our left now is the seal for the next lock, which is always a bit odd. Fill one, empty one, fill one, empty one. So while we're going down, if you've never done a staircase lock before, they're somewhat different with the paddles. And you have a red and a white paddle. And on these ones, the red paddle takes the water from the side pound and fills the lock up. And the white paddle takes the water from the lock that you're in and shoves it back into the side paddle. And I think it's red before white, you're all right. White before red, you're dead. A little bit vicious, but so you just got to get them around the right way. Which is why I like being on the boat, because Em's got it off to a pat now where I don't. My memory retention's not good enough. And that's it. I've got 5 minutes left. I'm just going to go into this lock and swap over with Emma. And then, sadly, I'm back to work. Didn't quite make it down in half an hour, but I think that's a little bit optimistic anyway. But got me off the boat for 25 minutes just to get out, which is quite nice. Because now, obviously, with the darker nights, the early dark mornings, I get up, wake up and start work in the dark, and then I finish work in the dark. So it's kind of quite nice not to be in mushroom for a little while. But I can say I've done part of the Foxton locks. Emma will carry on and do the rest now. With the lock keepers, obviously.
And this is where we stayed. We have been at the bottom of Foxton Locks for just over a week. We popped home last weekend because we had a family party to go to, and we are heading home this weekend because hopefully my surgery will happen. So as you can see behind us, Paul and Lindsay have caught up with us on Inga. And when we get back, we're literally going home overnight. When we get back, we're hoping to head down towards Market Harbour together. Have a bit of time, bit of shopping time, maybe have a little night out. So yeah, wish me luck with my surgery. Thank you very much to all of you that did wish me luck. Also, all of the people that commented last week. We have people that comment every single week. Nigel, who loves to see the dogs. Yvonne, who always wishes us well and to keep safe, and Dave and Elaine, lots and lots of you that comment every week, and we really appreciate that. It's really nice to see. And this week we also got some comments from people that had never commented before, which is even nicer because it's really nice to kind of just get a reach out from people that are watching us, because you just don't know. You see the numbers on the door, you know, however many views, and you just don't know how many people have stayed till the end. It's really lovely to get the comments from that perspective, so thank you very much. So all that's left to say is thank you very much to everyone that has watched, not just the people who've commented, but thank you to everyone that's watched, all the people that have viewed the videos, the people that watch us every week. Really appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed, then please do. Doesn't cost you anything. Subscription always makes me think of money. There is no money involved. It just means you get notified when we've released videos, so you don't miss us and our bloopers. Really appreciated all the comments about the bloopers. it's difficult to choose 3 of them. Maybe every now and then we'll re-show some of the funny ones that we think are funny and do another poll, because that was quite good. It was good to see your thoughts on it. Anyway, that's enough from me. I believe that I'm starting to waffle again. It's this whole being on my own on the back of the boat's not good. So I am going to say goodbye there. Please give us a subscribe, a like, thumbs ups are always good, and if you want to, give us a comment. See you next week. Hello. So, it's car going past. Hill. And then over on the other side over there. Oh, it's focusing on my finger. And then over on, oh, it's doing it again. And this is the bottom of the flight. No, not the bottom of the flight at all, is it? It's the bottom of the what do they call it? Lift. Here we go. You'll notice that when we flip over to the past footage, that Mike? Who's Mike?
Excuse me.
So all that is left for me to say is thank you very much for commenting, which I have already said, but please carry on, because we really do enjoy watching them. And so all that is left to say is thank you very much for watching, all of you, whether you commented or not. But if you, honestly, who'd have thought it was so hard? Please give us